Hi friends, this is Kumar from Trichy Techies. Last video we saw that how the Java program works and what are the components that are present in a simple Java program. Now let us go to deep into Java. In Java there are different things. First we discuss about data types and specifier or modifier. What are these two things? What is data type and what is specifier or modifier? Data type is the a space that used to store a data and used to retrieve a data. And what is specifier and specifier or modifier? Specifier or modifier is used to gives the permission and gives the accessibility and gives the properties of the data types or it gives the properties. First one, what is data type? What is the types of data types? There are two: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. What is this primitive and non-primitive? There are two difference. primitive primitive data types, the primitive means the value that are determined, it is called primitive, and non-primitive means the data that are not be assigned or determined. That are these are the two major difference. Now let us see what is primitive data types. What is primitive data types? Under that there are 8 data types, primitive data types in Java, that are boolean and the second one is byte, the next one is short, and the next one is character. Next one is a character. The third one, fourth one is integer. The second one is float, and the next one is long, and the final one is double. You have two major questions. I have only two, maximum three datas in my hand. One is the numerical value or character values or special character values. Then why I need 8 data types is a major question that everyone asks. But Java has to maintain the space, that is the data space, the size of the data. The boolean is a true or false value. It is represented in a single bit as true or false. By default it holds false, but still the data size, the memory size is not determined. It's not determined. Then what is the byte short int? It is for store the numerical values. The numerical value can be stored in three places. One is short and integer and long. These are the four numerical space and has two another floating and floating point. And the floating point which are represented in two places. Then what is the character? This is used to represent the character and numbers. The character is the only data type which can handle both numerical and character and special characters. There is another major question. In that case, I have only numerical and floating point. Then why should I need 4 numerical data types and 2 floating point data types? I say this for memory size for a data. For byte, it has only 1 byte. Is for 1 byte and short is for 2 byte and character also holds 2 bytes and character also holds 2 bytes and integer, not like other languages, it holds 4 bytes. It holds 4 bytes and floating point, that is a float, also holds 4 bytes and the last long value holds 8 bytes and not the least double can hold and also hold 8 bytes. The keyword used to store these all is boolean. The next one is byte. The next one is short. For the character is char and for integer is same int and for float it is same float and for long it is also the same long. The last double is also double. Then what are the specifications that I can do? The byte should be represented at the end by b or uppercase of b. To show the numerical value is byte data type, because byte short and int can hold the integer value. To differentiate in short byte, we should represent by this, and for short we use S or capital S, and for character we need not do anything. Float is for float we should represent our F or capital F. how long we need to represent L or capital L. These are the primitive data types. Then what are the non-primitive data types? Now I show you. The non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types are user-dependent data types, that is like class, interface, interfaces, and etc. Example string. These are the non-primitive data types that are Now what is specifier and modifier? Specifier and modifier. Specifier. A specifier consists of two different things. One is we termed as access specifier or modifier, and another one is non-access specifier and non-access modifier. What is these two things that are that are done in this? What is this access specifier? For the last, we know what is the access. We know what is the access. That is public, private, protected, and default. These are the things that are used to to show the data permission to access. What are the data permission to access? That is in here. Public is used for representing anyone can use. Private and protected are used for special cases. And default is a default purpose that can be accessed only inside the package, not outside the package. Protected, only the class which can be the subclass of the major class can be used. Private is the most secured access that no one can access outside the classes. Then what is non-access specifier? What is the non-access specifier? Now say what is the non-access specifier? The final and abstract are non-access specifier because they never define giving permission to the datas or classes and methods, but it says the character of the class or data types or methods. Final can be used only in data types, methods, and extra. Final can be used in classes, methods, and variables. Final determines that is represents the constant, which means cannot be changed. Cannot be changed. But abstract means that it has only the signature but not a meaning. It has a signature example of frame, but it doesn't has any meaning. But it does not has any meaning. Now let us see what are the things that can be do. Now let us start with, where is it? Okay, let's create a new file. Let's start. Class my program, and starting with my for indentation purposes, auto indentation purpose. Then now I create public static void main. Under that we need to represent string aux. I use string hi. Am I going to save it? My pro dot java. Sorry, I saved it as file save as. It does because I need to save the file at uppercase. My pro, P is caps, P is small. I need to save it as save as. Save it as my pro. That's it. My program is saved. My program is saved. Now what can I do right now? And now I need to compile it before how it works. Java C space my pro dot java. Compiler is fetching. Now I going to run the file. There is no output because I don't have any output or return statement. Now I specify then what is to say that is in the static. I say everything, but I did not represent static. Static is not a function or access specifier, not a specifier. It is a keyword that used to denote the member of the class, which is the source of the class, and only final and abstract or belongs to class. It represents the values of the class, but static is used to represent the members of the class. I will say it in the following things. Now let's start with boolean space b and byte space by equal to 11b and short s equal to 14 s and character c equal to single quote c and int I equal to int and float f equal to point f and what is the last long space l equal to l. Sorry, I make a mistake. Boolean in short need not to be specified, but I see here. This is no need not to be represented. Sorry, it's my fault. And the last one is double of point. Now I need to print that one. So as term dot out dot println where is I want to print b. What is the intermediate between them? I need that are the 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. First one is I need to print b, then next one is by, then short, then last one is character, then int, then float, then long, and double I need not mention the values, show some error, and for double I print t. Now I saved it and I ran my terminal. Watch it. I already ran it somewhere else. For that, first I need to compile it. Yeah. What is system.out.println b? Boolean has no assignment, no initialization, or we need to initialize true. I assigned a value. Now let us see. There is a value. Then what if I do? I mention 0. If I mention in data type 0, then I'll get some error because Boolean has no integer data type, and is incompatible data type. So we cannot do this. True. I changed it and run again. Here it is. Now I run. Now let us see what happens when I take float. So it is an incompatible error conversion because possible loosely conversion of double. Double cannot be stored in float. That way I put f. What if I take L? It is also no error because integer has a memory size lower than long. Hence we can store it in there. But what if we do? There is no problem. Then what is the difference between them? Now I just have 145, then see the result. Incompatible. Int cannot be conversion. Previously can store only 128. Sorry, 127. Because now it is no error. 127. But in the case, what if I give 128? It's an error. 128 is not a byte, it is an int variable. These are some basic functions that are used. Here we have used primitive and non-primitive data types. What do you say? We use only the primitive data types in this function, but here the initially we give non-primitive data type as an argument, that is the string. String is an example of non-primitive data type. I say it is a non-primitive data types. What if I do when in front of boolean I fix final is a keyword. It is a non-access specifier. It terms that is constant. Then I change b equal to false. Then there will be an error. B is an false, and this is also a not compatible type. Now let's see. B is a false because cannot values to the final variable b. Once b is initialized and never cannot be used. Then what if I miss to initialize the variable? Then what? Then I forget to initialize the variable. It is also an error. It cannot be accessed. It cannot be initialized. The same error. That's it for non-access specifier. Then we need to learn about types of variables. Types of variables. One is local, class, and non-static. Class variable is also called static variables. The local variables. The local variables are the used within the blocks. In your blocks. Then the blocks. These tools are used inside the class, but if the variable is mentioned as static, it is a static variable. If it is not mentioned, it is a non-static variable. Example, these are all local variables. When I saved as static int cv means a class variable, and int a non-static variable. These are the two differences. When I use it as a global variable, I can directly access the value. There is no error. Last value is 0 because when I declared it globally, the default value of a static int is zero. That's it. Any doubts? That's all about. Any clarification? Any clarification? Contact to Techies Trichy at gmail.com and don't forget to comment, likes and share. Thank you for watching these videos, and until I will meet you in next video. Thank you.